Why owning a home feels impossible. Owning a home used to be the goal, the symbol of stability, success, the American dream. But today, it feels different. For millions of people, owning a home doesn't feel like a goal anymore. It feels impossible. So, what changed? Why does buying a house feel so out of reach? Let's break it down. Because the answer isn't just one thing, it's a combination of factors, all hitting at the same time. First, let's talk about prices. Home prices have risen dramatically over the past decade. In many cities, prices have doubled. In some areas, even more. But here's the problem: wages didn't double, not even close. So the gap between income and home prices keeps growing. And that gap is what makes things feel impossible. Now let's talk about interest rates. Even if you can afford the price of a home, you still need a mortgage. And mortgage rates have increased significantly. Just a few years ago, rates were extremely low. Today, they are much higher. That means higher monthly payments, sometimes hundreds or even thousands more per month for the exact same house. So even if prices stay the same, higher rates make homes less affordable. Now combine both, higher prices, higher rates, that's a double hit. And it's one of the main reasons why buying a home feels so hard today. But that's not all. There's also the issue of supply. There simply aren't enough homes. In many countries, housing supply has not kept up with demand. Construction slowed down after past economic crises, and it never fully recovered. At the same time, populations grew. More people need housing, but not enough homes are being built. And when supply is low and demand is high, prices go up. That's basic economics. Now let's talk about investors. This is something many people don't realize. A growing share of homes is being bought by investors, not families, large companies, investment funds. They buy homes in bulk and then rent them out. This reduces the number of homes available for buyers and increases competition. So when you try to buy a house, you're not just competing with other people, you're competing with institutions, and they often have more money. They can pay cash, they can outbid you easily, and that pushes prices even higher. Now let's talk about another factor: student debt. Many young people are carrying large amounts of debt. This affects their ability to save and their ability to qualify for a mortgage because lenders look at your debt, your income, your credit. So even if you want to buy a home, you may not be able to. Now let's talk about savings. Buying a home requires a down payment, and that can be a large amount, 10%, 20%, in some cases even more. But saving that money is harder than ever because the cost of living has increased. Rent, food, transportation, everything is more expensive, so people spend more and save less. And without savings, buying a home becomes even harder. Now let's talk about rent. Rent prices have also increased. In many cities, rent takes up a large portion of income, sometimes more than 30%, sometimes even more. So people are stuck. They pay high rent, which makes it harder to save, which delays buying a home, which keeps them renting longer. It's a cycle, and it's hard to break. Now let's talk about location. Jobs are often concentrated in major cities, but housing in those cities is expensive. So people face a trade-off: live close to work and pay more, or live far away and commute. But commuting has its own costs: time, money, energy. So there's no easy solution. Now let's talk about expectations. Homes today are different. People expect more, better locations, more space, modern features. And all of that increases costs. At the same time, land in desirable areas is limited. You can't create more land in a city. So prices rise. Now let's step back and look at the bigger picture. Owning a home feels impossible because multiple pressures are happening at once: higher prices, higher interest rates, limited supply, investor competition, high living costs, debt, and slower income growth. Each of these would be challenging on its own, but together, they create a system where buying a home becomes extremely difficult. Now, here's an important question. Is this temporary? Or is this the new normal? The answer is complicated. Some factors may improve over time. Interest rates may change. Construction may increase. Markets may adjust. But some factors are structural. Urbanization, population growth, investment trends. These don't change quickly, so the challenge may remain for years. But here's something important to understand. Impossible doesn't mean never. It means harder, more planning, more patience, more strategy. For some people, it may take longer. For others, it may require different choices, different locations, different expectations, different financial strategies. Now, let's talk about something often overlooked. Owning a home is not the only path to financial stability. For decades, it has been seen as the main goal, but it's not the only option. There are other ways to build wealth: investing, saving, starting businesses. So while owning a home is valuable, it's not the only measure of success. And understanding that can change your perspective, because sometimes the system changes, and when it does, people need to adapt. So why does owning a home feel impossible? Because the system around housing has changed. Prices rose faster than incomes. Costs increased. Competition intensified. And the gap widened. But understanding the problem is the first step. Because once you understand it, you can start thinking differently, planning differently, and making better decisions. If you found this video helpful, consider subscribing for more content about money, economics, and how the system really works, and let me know in the comments. Do you think owning a home is still achievable or becoming impossible?